In this video, I'm going to share with you the exact blueprint to take 100 listings a year as a new real estate agent. What an exciting proposition. Think about it. Most agents don't take 100 listings in their entire career. We're talking about doing it in 1 year as a new agent. And I wrote down 12 points. You're going to know exactly what to do. All these 12 points, by the way, are equally as important. Number 12 is not less important than number 2 or number 3. So stay with me. And before I give you point number 1, I want to read you a quote by Napoleon Hill. He's the author of Think and Grow Rich, a very well-known book on mindset. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend. Napoleon Hill says, there is no such thing as something for nothing. Everything you want, including your success, there is a price that must be paid. So here's point number 1. Set a goal to take 100 listings a year. Oh my gosh, that's so obvious. Is that it? No, that's not it. I'm going to say another few things for you on setting a goal. This is point number 1 because it's the first thing you have to do. If you don't set a goal, first of all, this is a big goal for any agent. And if you're a real estate agent and you're brand new and you never sold a house, how do you plan on accomplishing the 12 points without even having a goal? There's a quote that says, without a goal, you're like a ship without a rudder. You understand what that means? You're just like going with the wind. Everything that shows up in front of you that sounds better than executing the plan I'm going to give you is welcome. You're welcoming distractions. Most real estate agents, they live in reactivity. They don't have a goal. They don't have a plan. They show up to the office and, okay, let me answer my emails. Let me see who's going to call me today or who's going to be in front of a property that I can go show. They don't have a goal. And again, there are hundreds of shiny objects that can distract you on a daily basis as an agent. I can't think of another industry where there are more shiny objects to actually get you away from what you're supposed to do every day. So setting a goal is the absolute most important thing you have to do before you even start anything else. Point number 2 I wrote down. You have to get excited about this goal. I'll go beyond excitement. I would say you have to become obsessed with this goal. You know why? Because this is not a small goal. This is not going to happen just because you think it would be nice. You know, it's a good idea. Wow, that's a lot of listings. No, it's not going to happen like that. You need to become obsessed. And I'm going to tell you a few things to do to become obsessed. Because when you're obsessed about something, not getting it is just not an option. You know, when there's no going back, you will make it happen. You're going to do whatever it takes. That is the kind of obsession that you need to have about this. So I wrote down, every morning and every evening before you go to bed, you are going to write down this affirmation. Write it down right now. I'm going to give it to you. I take 100 listings a year. I take 100 listings a year. You're going to handwrite it 100 times, not type it. There's something very powerful about writing it with your hand, how it connects to your brain. And you are actually planting that seed in your subconscious mind 100 times when you start the day and 100 times before you go to sleep at night. And you're also going to every hour on the hour. You're going to take a 2-minute break. You're going to sit down, close your eyes, and you're going to say it. Say it out loud. I take 100 listings a year. And say it with the emotion that you believe it. And with your eyes closed, you are going to imagine what your life will be like when you take 100 listings a year. And to help you with visualizing what your life will be like, I wrote down this question. Write it down so you can answer it after this video is done. How will taking 100 listings a year change your life? Write that question down and then answer it. All the different ways that it will change your life. What will you have? Where will you go? Who will you help? How would it change who you are as a person, the self-confidence? Let's not even just talk about the money. There's so many ways that achieving this goal will change your life forever. And the best part, well, the best part is achieving it once. And when you do it once, you now have evidence and confidence that you can do it again. So this is not just going to happen 1 year. Actually, the first year is going to be the hardest one, because after you do it once, it gets easier and easier. So every hour on the hour, sit down 2 minutes, visualize how your life is going to be. Play a movie in your head. Live in it. You're not watching it. You are in it. Actually, these are some of the things that Napoleon Hill recommends in Think and Grow Rich. So now here's point number 3. Give up the need to know how you are going to do it. Now, I'm going to tell you how you're going to do it. What I'm referring to is, I have met a lot of agents who are professional students. They're always learning, and it's a new course, and it's a new class, and it's a new this and that. And they're always thinking that once I learn the script, once I feel more confident, once I know how to do a market analysis, or I know how to do a listing presentation, then I'm going to start working on this. No, you are going to start working at it immediately, because there is no substitute for massive action. And you're going to have to accept, especially as a new agent, that you are going to learn as you go. And you are not going to take 100 listings a year without action. You're going to have to talk to a lot of people. I'm going to get into that in point number 4. And every single day, you're going to get better. So point number 4 is, you're going to talk to 100 people a day about real estate. And you are going to set 1 listing appointment a day. This is going to happen Monday through Friday, maybe even Saturday. As a brand new agent with a huge goal like this, why not work 6 days a week? And imagine the amount of money that this is going to represent for you. Hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of dollars. Even if you're not going to sell 100% of these listings. If you sell 70, 80% of these listings, you're going to make a fortune. So 6 days a week. 100 conversations per day about real estate. That is the goal. Remember, there's no such thing as something for nothing. This is part of the price you have to pay. And when you're talking to people, you're going to use my scripts. You can download my script book for free. There's a link in the description of this video. The only exception to talking to 100 people a day about real estate, and I'm going to tell you who to talk to in a second, okay, is when you have an appointment that day in the afternoon, then you could talk to 50 people. If you don't have an appointment, it is 100 conversations. So here's how you're going to do it. You are going to talk to everyone, everywhere about real estate. You go get a coffee at Starbucks in person. You're going to talk about real estate. You're going to introduce yourself. You put a name tag. They'll see you're a real estate agent, and you're going to give them some information about what's happening with real estate, interest rates, how the market is, supply, demand, whatever you want. You need to be an expert in real estate, and then you simply ask, hey, do you happen to be interested in buying or selling real estate anytime in the near future? No, not really. Okay, no problem. Or yes, I am. Woo, jackpot. Or can you think of anyone right now that might be looking to buy or sell real estate that I can help? 100 conversations a day. Grocery store, dry cleaner, post office. I have no idea where you go, everywhere. And in addition to that, you're going to get on the phone every morning at 8 a.m. and you are going to make phone calls. Phone calls are very effective. It's just faster than face-to-face, even though most people, if you don't run into 20, 30 people a day, well, you got to start going places in the afternoon. In the morning, 8 a.m. till 12 p.m., you are on the phone. You are calling expired listings, for sale by owners, for rent by owners, old expireds, old FSBOs, old for rent by owners. Why? Because I told you part of your goal is to set one appointment a day. And to make that happen, you need to talk to people that you already know are selling. And talking to everyone, everywhere, it's going to complement what you're doing on the phone every morning. And then I wrote this down. There is not enough affirmations and visualizations that will make up for not taking massive action. Oh, I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to make phone calls. I just want this to happen without it. It's not. Massive action is required. And I wrote down another quote here for you. The harder you work, the luckier you get. Point number 5. Don't be scared of embarrassing yourself. Oh, because embarrassing how? Well, they're going to give me objections. I don't know how to respond, and I don't know how to do a listing presentation. And if I show up, who knows, I'm going to say something that doesn't make any sense. You know what? You are. That's part of how you learn. I have done so much of that. I mean, I'm embarrassed to even say some of the things that I mean, literally, okay? You wouldn't want to know, and I'm not going to tell you. But I have done plenty of it. So what? For the most part, when you're on the phone, I mean, this fear of embarrassment, maybe you don't have that, but most real estate agents do. And this is why so many of them are the professional student that I talked to you about. I need to know everything so I don't make a fool of myself and I don't sound stupid. Well, I've done so much of that. Who cares? When you're on the phone talking to people, face to face, it's different. People, it's a little bit easier, right? Most of the fear is over the phone. You're talking to people you don't know, and expireds and FSBOs and what they're going to say and how am I going to respond. These are people, again, you don't know who they are. You're never going to talk to them again. So who cares? Do your best. And when it doesn't work out, figure out what you learned so you could do better the next day. And then I wrote this down. When you're learning and getting better every day, even if it's like 0.5% better, that consistency compounds. And a couple of weeks, couple of months later, you're going to look back and say, wow, I've come a long way. I have learned so much. I am so much better, because nothing happens overnight. It's consistency over time and getting better every day. Then I wrote down point number 6. Internalize my listing presentation script. You're going to read it, reread it, read it out loud. You're going to role play. You're going to practice. It's in my script book. You'll have it. And then you're going to video yourself doing a listing presentation with someone, friend, relative, agent in your office, whoever you want. So you're going to make a video of yourself doing it. And then you're going to ask maybe even the person you role played with or somebody else to watch it and give you feedback. Tell you, what is it that you did well? What is it that you can do better? And answer this really important question for you. Would they list their house with you? If yes, amazing. Ask him to tell you why yes. And if no, why not? So again, you can improve and get better. Mastering your listing presentation is gonna build your confidence to talk to people. You don't need that confidence before you start, but it's gonna be extremely helpful. Point number 7, get away from negative people. This is huge. There's so much negativity out there, and most people don't believe that they could achieve this kind of goal, whether they're a real estate agent or not. When you think about taking 100 listings a year, selling, even if it was half of those listings, you can make $500,000 a year in most markets based on an average price of $10,000. So that would be $500,000. So when you think about it, most people, they would hear of a goal like this and think it's impossible because they're always going to define others lesser than they define themselves. And when somebody doesn't believe they can do something, they're going to be telling everybody why it's not possible, why it can't be done. And you don't even have to share your goal to have somebody be negative about it. You know, negative people, how they behave, the things they say, like it takes your energy away. And to achieve a goal like this, you got to do the complete opposite. You need to surround yourself with positive, motivating, empowering people, because we all need that. And when you're a new agent with this huge goal, this is non-negotiable. You cannot even remotely expose yourself to negative people and negative ideas. Number 8, learn how to prepare a market analysis accurately. Your broker in your office or your MLS, I'm sure you could take a class on this. And this is critically important because you're going to be going on a lot of listing presentations and you're going to follow my script, but you must have an accurate market analysis when you show up to someone's home, because taking listings is amazing, but an accurate market analysis is what's going to allow you to price the home to sell. Having well-priced listings is critical to getting these properties sold. So this is a very important part of the process. Again, there's nothing here that you need to learn before you start doing, okay? I keep saying that over and over. It's like, oh yeah, I gotta learn the market analysis now before I make calls. No, you don't. Go set appointments and then ask your broker or somebody in your office for help if you don't know how to do it. Point number 9, you're gonna go on a minimum of 6 listing appointments per week. So I mentioned earlier, you're going to set one a day. You're going to maybe some days even more because you're talking to 100 people a day. And some of these conversations are going to get you an appointment on the first call. Some of them, they're going to come in the future. So you have to focus on seeing people face to face and going on 6 appointments every single week. And I talked to you about working 6 days a week, and maybe on Sundays, instead of taking the day completely off, talk to 10 people, make 10 calls. Sundays is one of the best days to prospect Okay, people are so friendly, so welcoming. You're probably the only agent that's gonna call them, which during the week when you're calling physicals and expireds, you're not gonna be the only one. And this way you stay in the zone. I know a lot of agents, they take the weekend off and then it takes them 3 days. Like by Thursday, they start working again. That's not gonna work, okay? So if you actually set one listing appointment a day, maybe you can take Sunday off. You deserve it. But if you're not achieving these goals, you might have to put in an extra day per week here. Point number 10, expect that it's gonna be hard work, because it is. And when you're expecting hard work, you embrace it. If you think it's gonna be easy, now think about it, it's not easy. Okay, I wrote down it's simple, but it's not easy, because the execution of it is not easy. It takes a lot of grit, commitment. It takes being obsessed with the goal. It takes wanting it real badly. And if you're expecting that it's, oh, this is going to be easy, as soon as it gets tough, you're going to start thinking about quitting, which is what most agents do. Successful people, they're not quitters. When it gets tough, they get better. They dig their heels even more. Their commitment just grows. That is how you achieve stuff that nobody else can do. Point number 11, decide to have fun. I mean, what's the point of all of this if you're not enjoying and having fun? And then I wrote this down. The truth is, the more fun you have, the more money you make. And again, even if you made a lot of money and you're miserable, it's not worth it, okay? And well, I guess to that point, if you're gonna be miserable, I'd rather be miserable with a lot of money in the bank than being miserable and broke. But the point is, you gotta find ways to have fun, because it's easier to maintain the consistency when you are having fun. And by the way, having a community, joining a group of agents that are doing the same thing you're doing, it's gonna help you have a lot more fun. Point number 12, this is the last one. You gotta have high energy and be enthusiastic about what you're doing. Why is that? Because energy and enthusiasm makes up for a lack of skill. And when you start, you don't have any skills. And then I wrote this down. Well, high energy and enthusiasm, I also wrote this down. It's contagious. Write this question down. Have you ever bought anything that you didn't need? Yes, for some of you, more than you would like to admit. I have at times. I'm not like a compulsive shopper, but I have done that. Why do we buy things we don't need? Because in the moment, we get excited about it. We tell ourselves in our minds, I need this. You really don't, but guess what? The excitement gets you to take action. People make decisions when they're excited about the future. And when you are enthusiastic and you have high energy, trust me, you are way more likely to set a lot of appointments, take a lot of listings, get a lot of referrals. Things are going to happen. And the final thing I wrote down for you is taking 100 listings a year is a goal that you should be very excited about. Because, as I said earlier, very few agents are ever gonna achieve the goal of taking 100 listings a year. And I know for a fact that when you follow what I gave you here, you can make it happen. And by the way, on my YouTube video, my YouTube channel, there are so many videos that are gonna help you perfect a lot of the things that I talked to you about. Videos on prospecting, on handling objections, on the listing presentation. You're going to find a lot of information that are going to help you even more in implementing this goal. So thanks for watching. Put your comments or questions below, and I will see you soon.